Great. Welcome, guys. Uh, Good evening to all of you. So, welcome to this open discussion. And for our new members, these open discussions are two-way communications, conversations, which we all do. So, it's not like we are going to deliver something, it's going to be conversational. So, we would like all of you to chime in, share your experiences, your stories, your viewpoints around the topic. And there's no defined structure also of this call, so I'll give a brief about today's topic before we begin, and then you all can, you know, come forward and share whatever comes up, right? So we'll see how it goes. Now, um, as today's topic is about resistance, understanding resistance and why we resist our own good. A lot of times we resist bringing the required changes. A lot of times we resist, taking the actions that we need to take. A lot of times we, don't even want to see the truth. We just feel that, we have made our own reasons, our own agendas, our own justifications that we keep giving to ourselves that oh, maybe this is not important. Maybe I don't need to see this. Maybe, my problems are not because of this. The issues that are coming in my life, they're because of other people, not because of me, and whatever reason, so on and so forth. Right. So, if we have to understand resistance, the opposite of resistance, in simple terms, could be the word flow, right? Or being in alignment. While when we talk about resistance, we are talking about, you know, a force which is kind of in opposition or kind of, something which is obstructing or slowing down the natural momentum of where life wants to flow, or something that is against, the natural flow of wherever things are going, or we want them to go, we desire them to go, right? So that's how resistance, we can, that's how we can define resistance, but it's a really, really vast topic. And um, any reason, so I'm going to give literally a blanket statement, but this appears apparently true in all situations and categories and varieties of situations, that in case we are not where, you know, we truly want to be in our lives, or, there's this thing which keeps coming forward that, about the direction where we want to go in our lives. If we have not reached there, it certainly means that in some or the other areas, in some or the other way, we have some or the other form of resistance, right? So, because it is a extremely wide domain, there could be many different categories, unlimited categories of, types of resistances that can occur to us. But if we are not there where we want to be, where we need to be or we desire to be, then some or the other form of resistance comes into picture. Hmm. Now, a lot of times the resistance that we talk about is conscious. A little bit of awareness is there that, you know, so for an example, we were doing our, session today, right? So there's one lady, and while asking, her subconscious probing question, she was, of course, in a lot of pain, and a lot of things were coming up on the surface and all that, right? Somehow, as humans, we all deeply know that in case we need to close a chapter or give closure to something, we need to first acknowledge it, see it, and someday we all have to do it. But yet, basically it's kind of two parts of us. So there is one part of us, like we talk about splits, right? So there is one part of us which, you know, makes us feel that I want to be free. I want to be out of this situations. I want to be over this situation, so on and so forth. But there's another part which continues to resist that situation. Now, there could be different reasons. One reason is that, it's going to be a painful process. I don't want to remember those memories again. And we know how, subconsciously all of those things are impacting our lives. But it's so painful that, we humans usually trade off temporary gains for permanent happiness. So, it's easier for us to say, कि अभी भूख लगी है ना, अभी खाना खा लेते हैं ना, बाद में सोचेंगे, right? Even if it means that we are burning the kitchen, right? But it's just so, short term viewed, so much tunnel vision that we get in our lives just to relieve ourselves from, that pain, just temporarily make ourselves believe that नहीं अभी तो नहीं है ना अभी नहीं है अभी गायब हो गया right it's gone. Hmm? And over a period of time thus we continue to accumulate it like layer by layer over and over again, right? And life will keep throwing situations, incidents, because it's not really about the other people. It's only that other people bring out what we have already inside us. So it will naturally continue to happen that life will continue to bring those people, those incident situations, and it keeps piling up, building more on the resistance and building more on the avoidance, and the game continues until it becomes too painful for us that we decide that नहीं अभी देखना पड़ेगा, right? नहीं देखेंगे तो नहीं होगा. It's not going anywhere, right? So one reason is this that we, just want that temporary pleasure, that temporary relief, right? And we don't want to go through that pain so that we can come to a space of bringing ourselves permanent happiness. नहीं, वो नहीं, हमें temporary relief ज़्यादा better लगता है, right? So that's just how it is. All of these resistances, so how resistance actually occurs inside us as human beings is that, like we have spoken about splits in many of our calls. So I'll just explain a little bit about it because it's important to understand that concept to go deeper. So every time a trauma occurs, so the trauma does not necessarily needs to be about somebody hitting us or abusing us and so on and so forth. Denying and, disapproving or maybe speaking harsh words to children or, not giving what they want and so on and so forth. Even these regular life things sometimes can also cause us, different kinds of traumas because our parents too at times live in a very unaware way. Fine. Now this trauma has occurred. Hmm? Before the trauma occurred, we were all nice and free flowing and going through life and everything was hunky dory. We were having fun all around. But that moment that happened, a new reality came into picture, which this, whatever accumulation we had, we don't know how to handle it by that. So now we split ourselves into two parts. There is one part which is hurt by the memory or the trauma, by the story, things happening. There is another part which is born, which is there to handle the situation, which is kind of a protective mechanism. The protective mechanisms, coping mechanisms could come in different forms of, different masculine expressions, feminine expressions, shutting ourselves down, or maybe getting too aggressive, fight or flight mode, whatever. So now the split has got created. Now, likewise, we have so many different splits inside us. Now, if we have to understand resistance happening inside us, so for an example, uh, you know, um, let's suppose somebody wants to go to USA, right? And they want to find a job over there, but they're too confused that, if they go to the US, they will find a good job, make more money, but then they'll be leaving the relationships behind, right? But they're also afraid that if they stay back in India, they would find all the friends and family and relationships, but they would lose on the opportunity of going to the US, right? So this shows us, I'm just taking an example to explain to you all that. So there are different splits inside us, wanting different things at times, operating maybe from different states of fears, different states of um, insecurities, hmm? And thus segregating ourselves into different parts. So one part is saying one thing, another part is saying one thing, right? And there's always kind of a tug of war going on inside that you want to go forward. It's like you are in the river doing river rafting, but then you are going in the opposite direction with so much force, right? So that's how resistance manifests in our lives, in all different areas of our lives, um, be it in relationship with people, be it in relationship with um, friends and family, or any kind of relationships, or at workplace, or maybe in relationship with money, or maybe in relationship with your own body, right? So I'll give you an example of this example. So it's physical in nature. It's more like we can imagine it better. So there was this girl that I was speaking to long time back. She gained a lot of weight. mm, and it was really hard for me, to come to a point to find the root cause of this situation. And she really wanted to, you know, lose weight, right? And she tried really hard. She would do all of these things, but then after a month or 1.5 months, she would just, give up. Mm. So while talking to her, we tried to explore deeper and deeper, and I was just talking to her, and we realized this that when she was a child, she was bullied, and she was bullied a lot, right? By her friends or her relatives. Um, So, because she was small, she perceived the situation as if, people bully her because she is small, or because she's, thin or tiny, or she cannot, do anything about the situation. So what her body did, right? What her body mind came up with the solution that she started gaining weight as she grew up. Mm. And she got really fat as she grew up compared to how she was before. She gained around 50 kgs most probably as she grew up, and she was really bothered by it. So it was kind of two splits happening inside us, one wanting to lose weight, but another really afraid that in case she loses weight, she may get bullied again. That bully one was not the conscious one, but that was so ingrained in her mind, ingrained in her body, that every time she would lose a little bit of weight, mm, all sorts of anxiety would come up, right, in her, to make her feel really unsafe, right? And that was happening really subconsciously in her. So that's how resistance looks like. That was one example, and there are many different examples, right? Every time we observe that we are going through this tug of war, we can, simply sit and start observing that what resistances are coming inside us, which are, actually stopping us to go forward. Hmm? So I've given a brief. Let's have a conversation, guys, before we move forward. Hmm. So I would like to know from you guys that, does this make sense to you all? Great. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Cool. Akarna, anything that you would like to add to this? Okay, cool. So, yeah, anybody would like to share, their personal experience around this thing, or maybe something that you're observing, or maybe something that any topic that you would like to explore from this particular angle? So nobody has any thing to share. Any questions coming up? Sure. Sure, Jansi. You can take your time. Okay. So one very important and um, interesting thing which I'll share about resistance is because resistance, does not feel very good to us. hmm, What we usually tend to do with this thing is that we would try to deny it. hmm. We would simply deny, disregard the parts of us which are resisting in the process, right? And either we would, go in two directions. We would just bypass it, and we would try to, still do things. So let's suppose somebody has to take any action in life and they are facing some kind of resistance, and they would, continue to push themselves so much to take those actions, and they'll continue to, you know, fall back, right? Rather than recognizing that there is some resistance on the way. So the thing is that the major blockage that we get, on the path while achieving all of those things is because we don't want to acknowledge the resistance. And like the saying goes that what you resist persists. Um, we see it from any different angle. We see it from the angle of, how law of attraction works, how manifestation works, how, um, you know, our mind works, how, our subconscious works and all that. But the more we resist this resistance, it's like, giving it more force and making it stronger. Mm. So we actually want to solve the solution. We actually want to solve the problem, but what we do instead is create more problems rather than acknowledging the resistance and going deeper and seeing that what are the things that are causing the resistance. Mm. So that becomes a major blockage in um, our journey of whatever, whichever, wherever we want to go in our lives. So how do we deal with the resistance is to, first acknowledge that resistance, first see that resistance, that where is it coming from? What is it made up of? Why is it there in the first place? Mm, From where it arrived in us, right? And why is it making us so uncomfortable, right? So it remains hidden. It does not go anywhere. It continues to, poke us until we directly deal with our resistance. So that's one very interesting thing that, keeps coming up and keeps showing up on our journey of life, wherever we want to go, whatever we want to do. And yeah, for us to dissolve the resistance, the simple thing is to first, acknowledge it. Yes, Jancy, you're back. You can go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Thanks. Actually, I would like to share my journey of dealing with resistance, and in case it helps someone on the call or if someone would like to add to it. So, when we all are thinking beings, सबको conscious है, सबको समझ है, we all know what is good and bad. That we don't necessarily need to be told. हमें पहले ही पता है. But the biggest for me, the biggest thing was कि the first and foremost step was, is it only my moral responsibility to fix things while people around me are not taking care of how their behavior is? And yes, everyone has their trauma and everyone is acting out of their trauma. So my first and foremost hesitance was, is it just my moral responsibility? These are all internal debate and dialogues that I used to have with myself. So, two, okay, if not, then the my alter ego would be like, okay, so do you want to be the same shitty person as others? So yes or no, pick one side. Answer is obviously no. I don't want to be like those, again, trauma givers to others and continue that unending cycle. So wahan se it was there on when I really thought, okay, no, I don't want to. So from there on, it was um, what do you say, no control, just running down the slope hill with no brakes on how to manage the things that were so submerged, so deep down seated, जो मुझे लगता था कि मैंने डील करना सीख लिया है. And as I was working on them through various, maybe unstuck yourself, maybe subconscious probing, maybe healing mind blocks. So as and when these things were surfacing, those were not only discomforting. Yes, back when I was a kid, I had no control. So the kid did whatever the best that she could to deal with it. But now I'm a person who can actually take stand for myself. So every time those emotions resurfaced with the exact memory, it was like now I want to give it back. And that may not be the ideal scenario, but the biggest resistance over there was, okay, now I have to relive the whole thing again by myself, and I have to relive the whole emotions again by myself, while the same trauma givers are just like they're fine. So these were certain things that emerged for me. I'm not sure if it's the same for others, but this is what I experienced in my journey. Eventually, yes, they healed. They're fine now. Those splits don't bother me as much, but I just wanted to add this.
Mm, mm. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that, Jinsi. Would you also like to share with us how you handled it and um, how you went on a journey, which made you more accepting towards, these things?
I think I'll be honest, I didn't quite handle it well. uh, because right now I am someone who is very ferociously feisty about what I feel and say, because as a child, because all those trauma made me really submissive in nature, but as growing up, that submissive child didn't want to be submissive at all. So I became the other side of the coin, the flip side, the flip person, totally. So I'm someone, as I've grown up, I've became totally who would just give it back with equal intensity or maybe even more. So yes, my journey of dealing with it was not comfortable, so to put. But again, I think discomfort is something that comes with it. But it's gone now that I can share with everyone. That was like once and for all permanent fix. एक बार डील करना पड़ता है, वो बार बार नहीं आता. Unlike हमारे लाइफ में जो इमर्जिंग पैटर्न्स होते हैं, अगर हम इग्नोर करते हैं तो वो थोड़े 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 बिट्स एंड पीसेस में वापस आते रहते हैं. वो हमें कॉन्शियसली पता भी नहीं होता है. बट दिस इज लाइक वन टाइम discomfort, and then it goes away for good. So that doesn't affect your personality. And after having dealt with this, I can see who actually I am. With all the baggages now gone, I can actually feel the kind of person I am, and all the things that I was carrying was never about me. So that is very liberating. That is very empowering. So I can actually it's like I can actually feel my own skin. I'm not wearing anyone else's skin. And yeah.
Beautiful. That's so beautiful. Good to know. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing, Jinsi. Cool. Anybody else would like to add anything or share anything?
Yes, I would like to share.
Sure.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Yogesh. Please go ahead.
So I wanted to share that I actually have been noticing this pattern, but I'm so happy that I'm actually fully conscious about this one now, and I can take some steps to, do something about it. So, normally whenever my dreams are going to be fulfilled, so I actually have been self-sabotaging, and I was sabotaging so effectively everything that I was successfully destroying all the good things that were coming in my life. And now I'm going to sell a land. After selling this land, I will have money to start living comfortably because I am in a good place now and I know what I really want. But then this pattern is coming and now I'm worried about some issue about the land and everything. But actually, I'm already feeling a little bit better because I'm going to solve it. I know that I have to just solve it, do it everything nicely, not run away, not avoid, not hide anything, and then whatever the result will be, it will be good, and then everything will be good. But I still, I'm really happy that I'm talking this, that everything seems like sort out. But what I feel is like this some kind of fear or something like from the before trauma. But I think I'm not really much affected by it, so I'm really happy. But I just put it out like, as a discussion, this one.
Hmm. And while in this process, could you also, recognize the kind of fears that were coming up on the process?
Okay. So my main fears are normally this, that people are, because actually, I have been cheated so many times, Anamika, in my land deals because I have dreams to build a beautiful, beautiful house for a long time. And I have been buying land in everywhere, including Rishikesh and Goa and everywhere. And I have been cheated like 90% of the time I have been cheated in land deals. So I'm like so paranoid. Like if I'm selling some land, I'm like afraid that some people are going to do something and I'm going to be cheated again. And people always were selling me lands without road, lands without some kind of problems. And I was living that time in a very survival mode. So I was not strong. I was not assertive. And I was just like so submissive, maybe you can call, or I just wanted to buy my land, build my house and be safe there. But it was never happening because I had to learn this lesson to be assertive. And if you're assertive, you can check all the papers and you only buy and this is your right. I didn't know what is my right, what I should check. I'm giving my money. So my money was being wasted most of the time. And so this fear a little bit coming that there are many, dealers involved in this. So I'm thinking, are these dealers trying to create a fake problem so then they can make the deal in a less money and they can take more profit from the buyer? Or there is a small issue in my land. So I'm thinking, are they going to magnify this for me so I can lower the price or sell the land out of fear, something like that? So yeah, these kind of worries were coming, but I'm fully aware and conscious of this, that because it was happening like this in the past. So it's like a repeated pattern and I'm aware of it. And even I'm happy to hear myself that I'm aware. I'm not reacting, but I'm responding about it now. So this is beautiful.
Okay. Okay. So your fear was feeling unsafe about these things, unsettled, and the fear of, being taken advantage of. But
Yes,
then you
yes,
made yourself capable enough to, be assertive, and whenever the need comes to,
yes. Now
deal
I
with these
can.
things.
Yes, I feel a little bit more strength actually in me, that instead of like fearing, I can stand up, I can solve, I can do as much as possible. So yeah, I have more confidence about it. And I think people are normally responding accordingly. Before, people could see that I had like this unconscious fear that I was not even aware of. And they were like really taking advantage. But I was reading this nice thing, the setup thing, which was so beautiful, that whatever setup that we find ourselves, this is to teach something, and this is mind blowing. My all this cheating that happened to me was all this setup happened so I could work on this unconscious part of me, which was trauma. And because of that, I was like really avoiding being assertive. I was not strong. I was not able to stand up for myself and so on. So yeah, this is just Amazing. Yes. But I would like if you can discuss about this self-sabotaging thing, because self-sabotaging I was doing in my relationship. It's like I wanted to have a happy, beautiful, nice relationship. And if I meet a woman, then I was actually doing everything that she will leave me. And I was doing this unconsciously. So if we can do something about self-sabotaging, and that would be very interesting.
Hmm. Hmm. Right. Yeah, that what you're sharing is directly linked to today's topic of discussion, which is resistance.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's this girl, she was our coaching client, last year, maybe 1.5 years ago. So he really wants to get into a relationship, right? Since the time we have been speaking to her, she has been wanting to be in a relationship. Hmm?
Mm-hmm.
But um, the thing is that that's what we tell her that, that even if you find a person,
Mm-hmm.
even if they come to you, you're
Mm-hmm.
going to kick them out of your life,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
the thing is that in her case, what we recognized that it was the fear of being rejected.
Mm-hmm.
So before somebody else could reject her,
Mm-hmm.
she would do something so that, she only rejects them. She only
Mm-hmm.
will let them go, right?
I
So there
see.
is this, yeah. So before you joined, we were talking about the splits, right? So there is this deep desire in her that we have seen that she wants to be in a relationship, but
Mm-hmm.
then there is another part of her which is so afraid to, go through that experience and to experience, any kind of rejection, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
um, yes, rejections happen all the time, right? Be
Mm-hmm.
it in relationships, be it at work, rejections happen all the time, right? And
Mm-hmm.
life is not only about that we will be, coming in the first place, we will be appreciated all the time, we will be acknowledged all the time. No, a lot of times, even the best of our relationships, people are sometimes busy and they don't get time to, to spend too much of time with us or do things with us. But then when we are ourselves operating from the space of, that fear of being rejected,
Mm-hmm.
the situations where we are rejected, we start projecting those situations onto other people. We start generalizing, or we start thinking that this is what is going to happen, even if it has not happened, right? Or what we start doing is, um, we, start seeing things from our own filters,
Hmm.
right?
So I would like to quickly, I would like to share something, Anamika, here, which will be very interesting case scenario for you, something maybe new
Mhm.
also. So in my case, what happened was this, that when I was like younger, early teen, I got traumatized in my home for a couple of years. That means I had complex trauma, and my mother, neither my father, they were not protecting me. So for me, self-sabotage was form of revenge from them. I started to destroy everything in my life, all good things. The conscious self of me wanted to settle down, to have a nice home, to build a nice house, have a nice partner and everything. But that unconscious part that was taking revenge from my parents, that was actually self-sabotaging everything. So I was buying. So you see, that comes another side, that actually there were good lands available, but I was going for lands where there will be problems. When good lands were coming with clear title, I was not buying them. And when I was meeting good women who were ready to commit, I was leaving them somehow, and I was going for girls who actually are not committed or whom I cannot get. And it's crazy. It took me 20 years of self work to find out that I had this part in me which was taking revenge from my parents by destroying my own life. So because somehow they were noticing this and maybe they were suffering or whatever, but only later I realized that actually nobody really much care, because they don't really know what you are doing and why you're doing, and they just think that you are just crazy or whatever. So if my brothers were not nice, I was taking revenge from myself by like stopping my construction of my house or something. And I realized actually nobody really cares. I have to take care of myself. But the part was unconscious, and that was the most mind-blowing thing, that I reached that unconscious part and I healed it, and now I'm not destroying my life anymore.
Good, good. That's happy to. I hope you're not taking revenge from anyone anymore, yourself as well, included.
Yeah. Now I'm not. But there is some heaviness and some pain. Maybe this is residual of that complex trauma. So something is still there, which I would like to heal. I don't know. Physically, right now, as I'm talking, I feel like a lump, like a heavy thing in my heart, the middle of the chest, like heart chakra.
Mm, mm.
Hmm.
Yeah. For that, you can, refer to one of the conversations that we were having previously about healing energy blocks.
Mm-hmm.
So even at the mental level, when so this is for everyone, right? Everybody who's here. So, how we go about it. So it's not a linear thing as such, but we preferably, look at things to get, have a more better clarity on the journey of healing ourselves. Is that we say that firstly, deal with it at the level of the mind,
Mm-hmm.
explore everything, go deeper, make the unconscious conscious, right?
Mm-hmm.
And heal it. But all that still happens at the level of the mind, right? But
Mm-hmm.
then the thing is that all of these things create a lot of energetic residue inside us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So along with that, of course, like do physical exercise, so things, cleanse out of your body. You use different, mechanisms to, deal with your emotions, regulate your mind in a better way. Likewise, we also need to connect to the energetic parts of us, and, whatever imprints which are there inside. We also need to, cleanse it from that energetic section where, you know, it's like we can say that, okay, now we have seen it from all different angles in all different ways. There is no defined exactly time frame of,
Mm-hmm.
how we can say that, oh, this is going to take this much time, and all that. No, because all of us are on such different, place of our journeys. We all have had, different kinds of traumas. Some of us had deeper ones, some of us have different ones, and all that. So there's nothing that is defined on this journey.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, um, if we sincerely do, all of these things, cleansing and purifying, whatever is there, whatever. So basically, there's one of the quotes from Rumi, which I'm remembering that um, it says that um,
Wound is the place from where light enters.
no, not that
Mm.
one.
Okay.
Um, it says that something like love is already there. We don't need to seek love,
Hmm.
but we only need to remove the barriers that are on the way to, uh, you
I
know,
see. Mhm.
um, uh, to realize it, or maybe to become it, right?
Okay.
So it's not actually that, the journey is not about, reaching somewhere, although it appears so to us
Mhm.
that we are reaching somewhere, but everything that we have wanted, or we have seen, or we have, desired, and all that, it's there. It's just that we need to remove these resistances or the barriers
Mhm.
that today we are talking about. And
Okay.
when we remove the resistances, the journey becomes effortless, and the
Hmm.
journey, we reach that place in an
Hmm.
effortless way. That doesn't mean we won't be making efforts, but
Mhm.
those efforts, also feel like a play. It's like a joyful ride, right?
Hmm.
We don't have to, go through this tug of war of resistances where one part of us wants something while the other resists it, and there is, this fight going on, the battle going inside all along, right? So
Mhm.
yeah, so
So,
the work
Amrita,
is
how
about
to heal
removing the
these
barriers.
blockages? Is there anything you will suggest, or is there anything available on website which I can look into? Like how exactly to remove these energy blockage?
Okay, so how we go about it, removing the energy blockages. So basically, I'm an energy healer.
Mm-hmm.
I do energy healing work one-on-one or in groups with people. But what we recommend usually to people is that, to do these practices and things in presence. So we, recently did one of the energy healing retreats, and it can be done in distance, but we it's just our way that we prefer to do it in presence. That's something um, that's a place where it's a very sacred space that we get to create with the group and work with the group and do all of these things. So basically, see, for an example, you're going through unstuck yourself, right? So in unstuck yourself, you
Mm-hmm.
use your conscious mind to understand your fears, insecurities, and everything. Then at the
Mm-hmm.
second level of what we have, we go through the subconscious mind. So this is not about our process, huh? This is for
Mm-hmm.
anybody here doing any kind of spiritual work. This is just a roadmap which could be helpful to anybody. This is just a common sense roadmap that we have, right? And our
Mm-hmm.
intention is that people become aware of this roadmap. So
Mm-hmm.
once you have understood, used your conscious mind, then you go deeper and you use your subconscious mind. Hmm?
Mm-hmm.
And you probe deeper that, why you are the way you are, how these patterns got created, where are these things coming from, right? And you explore
Mm-hmm.
everything and you see that how these things came into picture. Then you go even further deeper, and then we use your energy body in the
Mm-hmm.
third workshop like that we have. So there you um, visit these different places. You work with your inner being, right? Where you work with your inner self, your splits, your fragments, your different, these splits that I'm talking about, that one wants
Yeah, yeah,
something, another
part.
resists
Yes,
it.
yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you work with these splits directly. For that, you
Mm-hmm.
cannot do it. I mean, of course, it is subconscious, but it goes a little deeper than that. Now, going
Mm-hmm.
further, when we go to the energy healing retreat, there
Mm-hmm.
it's more about using our energy bodies, right? So, for an example, there is a vehicle that whose battery is down, so you would be needing the another battery, right, to restart it, to
Mm-hmm.
cleanse it, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
in the energy healing retreat, that's what we do. So, there are many
And
different ways, many
where
different
is the
paths through
energy
which.
healing retreat located? Sorry to interrupt, because just I'm interested in that, and I'm curious to know where is the energy healing retreats you do? Is it in Missouri?
We just did it in Missouri. We don't exactly know when it's going to happen next. It happens every 3-4 months,
Okay.
and most probably it will be in March or April.
Okay,
Right. So,
because this is very interesting for me, and I live normally in Manali. Right now, I'm in Goa, but I live in Manali,
mhm.
which is not far, and I have some things to do in Rishikesh. So I would be very happy to combine both, and I can do the retreat, and I can visit and do something I need to do in like Rishikesh.
Yeah, sure.
Very nice.
Cool. So that's how the process looks like for, anybody who would like to deal with these resistances at different levels, at different, going deeper and deeper and expanding your, um, level of consciousness and level of state. Uh, uh, why is this process like this? So see, the thing is that, transformation can literally happen in a second, right? That's not the point of it. In fact, it's already there. It's already there within each one of us, all of us who are sitting here. The problem is not that. The thing is that it's just these barriers that we have put on the, road that we need to cleanse, which actually takes time. So whatever, there's this another quote that I remember that what anything that you're looking for is already there. So it's the same thing, right? It's already there, but the thing is that the mind, the body, whatever kind of traumas, whatever kind of beliefs, limiting patterns, behaviors, habits, wounds, whatever that we bring from our past, this past, previous past, whatever, they create some barriers on the way which do not allow us, which make us, so scared of, being free, right? Because being free feels like we're losing control, right? It feels as if, this strong thing that we are holding on to, the stronger the beliefs and all of these things. So we attach, we make our identity out of all of these things, the beliefs, anything. Even sometimes, people make their whole identity out of their own traumas, right? And leaving that feels very uncomfortable, right? Because then once you get free, the major fear comes up is that then who am I, right? I have to have something to define myself, right? And then we feel so like like afraid of going towards that healing. Sorry. Rimti, your hand is up. Anything that you want to say?
Hi, Anamika. I just wanted to ask you that
Mhm.
is procrastination also a type of resistance? And if so, is it connected to the subconscious mind? And one more thing, you also told that denying is also a type of resistance. But then, yeah, so I tend to deny a lot of things, but the thing is that I tend to it will be funny to hear, but then when some circumstances do appear, I do tend to sleep, and then I just tend to deny it. So is that also related to something subconscious mind? Thank you.
Mhm. All of these things are linked to subconscious mind. Mhm. And procrastination, yes, procrastination is a form of resistance, right? Um, Now, how procrastination is a form of resistance, that needs to be, we need to dig a little deeper because we need to see, we need to find the, root cause or root reason of why we are procrastinating. So the reason why I procrastinate and you procrastinate, there could be some similar points to it. So, for an example, it's a stress relief mechanism for a temporary relief that, for maybe an hour only, 4 hours only, a day only, we at least feel that, oh, it's not there. Hmm? So,
Yeah.
some points are similar, but the major root causes could be different. So, my reasons and your reasons could be very different why we procrastinate. Hmm? Maybe I'm afraid of fear of failure, you are afraid of fear of success. Hmm? So, that needs to be deeper. But but in any of the scenarios, be it yours, be it mine, hmm, there is
Okay.
resistance, right? There is resistance that if that happens, if you do the work, or if you take actions or you go forward in the direction of whatever that you want to do, if you do that, right,
Yeah.
something um, either would happen or or it would not happen, some projection that we continue to do on this process, right? And it is of course directly linked to your subconscious mind, right? Something, some belief that you're bringing, or um, some kind of a notion that you're bringing, any kind of preconceived notion, any kind of opinion that you have, or anything, right? So yes, that's that. And apart from that, you were asking another question, right? You tend to be in denial. So can you give an example of any
Yeah,
particular scenario?
yes, sure, Anamika. Just for example, if I'm a nurse basically, so if any thing like any scenario do happen in my work area, like there is like some patient, something happens, so I tend to deny it. In the sense means, like if my senior would have shouted on me, it's just an example. Um, when I come back home, I tend to sleep, and then when I wake up, I feel refreshed. I just tend to forget everything which has had happened with me in the work area. It's not only related to work, but also um, if any scenario does happen outside the work, which disturbs me, I tend to deny it, but just coming back home and sleeping for some time, and I just forget it, and I wake up refreshed, I think, and I feel as if that circumstance has never happened with me. That scenario has never happened with me. I feel so. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. And what is the thing that you're trying to avoid by doing that?
Um. Actually, I have never gone in depth for I have never thought about any subconscious mind, like it will be engaging with my subconscious mind. So I don't do anything in depth for it. I just tend to avoid everything, so that I don't feel bad, or I don't have that anger in me. I just tend to avoid everything. I used to deny everything.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
No, I get that.
Yeah.
But in case you confront it, what would
Yeah.
happen?
In case I'm confronted, I would just I won't speak anything, like I would be mum, but the thing is that I will come back and I will start thinking about it, but and then I will just have a nap and then it will be all gone. Yeah.
No, but I'm saying in real life, if let's suppose I'm your boss
Yeah.
and some conflict happens, right? Something
Yeah.
happens, right?
Yeah.
And I just start shouting at you, screaming at you, and all that.
Yeah.
If
So
you talk to me, if you respond to me, what would happen?
yeah, so earlier, the thing is that I used to be a very angry person. I used to even, shout back at my boss as well. So earlier it was like that. But since I came here to New Zealand, it's not like that. I'm far, far calmer now. But um, the coping mechanism for me was always the sleep.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay. But
yeah.
I'm a little confused that uh, what exactly, I mean, if okay, there's something that happens and you come home and sleep.
Yeah.
Is this something which is impacting your life or causing, stopping you to grow in life or do something? Is it
Yeah.
impacting you or is it's just it doesn't impact you?
Uh, Actually, it does not impact me in the beginning. Like, just if something happened, means I said that the coping mechanism is to sleep, but it's not impacting me consciously. But I'm concerned that it may impact me in my subconscious mind, because everything is submerged, and maybe in future it can just come out. I'm just concerned about it. At the moment, it is not concerning me at all.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. If in this moment it's not causing you any trouble, it's not concerning you at all, then I don't know there's no problem to solve here.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. See, the thing is, the beauty of this kind of work is that, you know, um, how should I say that? Okay, so,
Maybe I'll say something what she's
yeah,
asking in a different way. I'll put this to you, Rimti. So when you
Yeah.
were talking, I was imagining this situation. Ki, let's say you're saying I am eating junk food, but I am not. seeing any health issues right now, but in future I am worried that it may create some health issues. But right now it's not creating any health issues. So that is the analogy that was coming in my mind when you were talking,
Um,
right?
that could be also a good example. Yeah, cited
Hmm.
nicely. Yeah.
Okay. So in that case, it more sounds like that you are aware that something may happen in future and I shouldn't eat junk food that much. Hmm.
Yes.
Same way you are saying something may happen in future because of my thing that I sleep whenever I get this kind of resistance and all that.
Yeah.
So then why don't you stop that?
Um, actually, yeah, I can stop that. But here, life is really very busy. I go to work and I just come back, sleep for some time, and then it's time for next work. I have to go for my next shift. So, it's really busy
No,
for me.
not
Yeah,
that, not that. I
yeah,
am not saying that. I
yeah,
am saying that you are observing this pattern that when somebody says something to you,
yeah, yeah.
then you just go to sleep and then you wake up and you feel it's all good,
Yes, yes.
right?
And I
So
don't
then
want to.
what have you done to change this response? What have you done to do something different? If you, it's like again, I'm using this example of junk food that
Yeah,
if you are saying I'm eating it, but then I'm worried I will get sick later on, but now it is not making me sick, then my question would be then why don't you change your diet? If you already
yeah.
know this, then why don't you change your diet? And if you say, I can't change my diet because lifestyle is so busy, I don't have time to cook and all that, and because of that, I'm saying, so then that is a choice you are making. Huh?
Yes, yes, that is a choice I'm making. But the thing is that I do know that it could have adverse effect on me in the future. But at the moment, I have not done anything to, mitigate it.
Yeah, and my question is why?
Why?
If you
Because
are aware of it, then why have you not done anything to mitigate it?
mainly because I have not done so much
Procrastination,
of introspection. I have not done so much of it. Yeah.
or is it procrastination?
Might be procrastination also. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So then, isn't the bigger problem procrastination?
Yes, with me, procrastination is one of the big problem. I do tend to procrastinate a lot. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. So procrastinators are basically those people who already know everything, what they need to do, and
Yeah.
they still don't do it.
Yeah.
So then, if I was the one telling you, if we switch places and I come to you and I tell you, but I know everything. I know
Yeah.
that I'm doing this, it is harmful and all that,
Yes,
but I still
yes.
do it. So what will you tell me?
I would tell you to seek any help or go for any meditation or do meditation which can help you out, several other methods. Yeah.
And have you tried that?
Yeah. No, I have not
Again,
tried yet.
procrastination.
Yes, yes.
So you
It's
see, this is like a catch-22 situation, chicken and egg story.
okay. Yeah.
So you already know the solution of procrastination, but you are actually procrastinating to even apply that.
Um, Basically, yes, I am procrastinating. The thing is that I'm not getting enough of time. Um, yeah, for
No,
meditation. Yeah,
I understand you're not getting enough of time. So what I am
yeah,
trying to say, if you just listen to my words very carefully, what I'm saying
yes,
is
yes,
you already know this, that you're not
yes,
getting time. And
yes, I do
because of
know.
that, these problems are occurring. Hmm?
Yes,
Yet you are choosing to be in that situation. Yet you are not doing nothing to change that scenario. You're just only giving yourself this excuse that I don't have time.
yeah.
So then that's a choice you are making.
No, the
So
thing is, yes, you are right that I'm making the choice. But I have two options. Like I could meditate or sleep for some time. But I think I'm opting for sleeping for some, having a nap rather than meditating. I think I should change that. Yeah.
hmm,
Yeah.
hmm, hmm. So the question comes down is not the solution. This question comes back to your tendency to procrastinate. And I asked you that why you procrastinate. What do you get? What is the benefit of procrastinating?
Um. There is no benefit actually of procrastinating.
Let's
But
pretend that there is. Let's pretend that
okay.
there is, and then
Yeah.
you answer the question. What is the benefit of procrastination?
I feel that if you procrastinate at some time, I feel that today I can procrastinate, and then this thing can be done tomorrow, and at that time I can do something else rather than doing this work, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, and that something else is sleep.
Uh, Not always sleep, maybe some other work also. Yeah.
Okay. And do you
Yeah.
do some other work, or
Yes, yes. I don't
how do you
sleep for
mostly
hours.
spend? If you were
Uh,
given a choice, if you were given some time, then what
yes.
is your first thing that you prefer to do with that time?
Actually, if I am given some time, I would like to go outdoors.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And do you do that?
No, I don't get time for that. Yeah.
No, but why you don't get time? Again, it comes back to that now. You don't get time because you sleep.
It's not because I sleep, it's because of my busy schedule.
But after the busy schedule, when you have time, means you cannot be 24/7 busy. Now you would be busy. How many? 15 hours, 12 hours? How many hours you're busy?
Yes, okay. Actually, I get busy. Like I have a shift of 8 hour shift. So I do double
Hmm.
sometimes. So it will be 16 hours. So
Okay.
after that, after it's like stressful work. When I come back home, I really get tired. I need to do the other works also. Like I sleep for some time, and then I need to have some like basic
Hmm.
work, and then basically I tend to sleep. I don't go outdoors.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
So here again, if we look at this bit by bit, that is you made it a procrastination problem as a beginning thing. Were you a procrastinator earlier also when you were not working two shifts?
Oh, okay. Yes, I was a procrastinator. Yes.
In what way you were a procrastinator? So what were you doing with that time? So when you had time, then what did you used to do with that time?
Yeah, basically sleep.
So घूम फिर के वही बात आ जाती है ना.
हाँ जी.
So then when we say ki you, and I ask you what would you prefer to do with your time, you said going out and all that. But
Yeah.
then you say I don't have time. But when you say I don't have time, you are basically saying I don't have time left after I have done sleeping.
Yes.
But then you see the problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you have to
So
create time out now for this thing. If
yeah,
it's
that's
really
right.
important
Yeah.
for you, so then right now in conclusion, it more sounds like the biggest thing that you prefer to do is sleep. It's
Yes,
not
that's
that I
true.
want to go out or I want to do anything, because given time to you, you will prefer to go to sleep. So that seems like more like a hobby.
Yes, you can say it like say it so. Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So
and
what do you reckon?
and
Uh, sh-
if you would sleep so much, then obviously you are not going to be finding time to do anything. So now one thing is that if you are working double shift, then already you are mentally tired.
Yes.
So you would need time to rest.
Yes.
So then it is understandable that anyone doing 2 shifts would, their first preference would be rest. Their first preference will not be to do other things. Their first preference would be to rest.
Yes. Yes.
In that case, I wouldn't really consider this like a procrastination issue as such, because it's more like a logistical thing. If anybody doing double shift, they are so tired mentally and physically that the first thing that comes to your mind is just hit the bed.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So that is understandable. But then given the choice that even if you are doing 1 shift and you have
Yeah.
time, you still choose to sleep.
Yeah.
Now the question comes is why sleep is your first choice when there are so many other things you could have done with that time.
Yes, that's right. You are asking me the right thing. But after sleeping, I do feel refreshed while waking up. I do tend to forget all the um what all the stress which I have in the workplace. I do tend to forget everything. So it's a type of ease for me. It's a type of coping mechanism for me.
Huh, correct. And that is a problem. What you are
Hmm.
calling coping mechanism,
Hmm.
in our line of work, we call it avoiding ownership and responsibility.
Oh, okay. Hmm. So, what do you reckon that I should do instead of not sleeping? What should I do?
There is
Meditate?
nothing that I would suggest because I don't know right now what exactly is the problem because we're still
Oh,
discussing.
okay.
We have still not hit the right problem because I just said to you that what you're doing is avoiding ownership and responsibility. So you have to first tell me why are you avoiding ownership, taking ownership and responsibility.
Oh, okay.
Sleep is a way by which you get to avoid taking responsibility and ownership of things that you need to take.
Yeah.
And why is that? You have to first
Uh,
answer that question.
okay. So, I'm also not sure why I do so, but it has become a habit for me from childhood onwards.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
definitely. But means you can go back and tell me that in childhood why you were doing that. So
Um,
how did it start? So what made you do this? That every time you have to take some ownership and responsibility of your things, you would actually prefer. Are you married?
no, I'm not married.
Okay, in any relationship?
Yes, I'm in.
Is are you finding problem in that relationship because of this as
No, no,
well?
I'm not. No, no, I'm not finding any problem in my relationship. That's going
So
on
this
smoothly. But
okay.
I was concerned regarding my procrastination behavior and my sleeping habit as well. So I
No,
discussed
I'm
with you.
asking that is it going smoothly because your partner understands that you are doing 2 shifts and you need to sleep?
Yes, yes, he
Hmm.
understands a lot. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
So the moment you go back to 1 shift and you still
yeah.
sleep, problems are going to arise.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It
Correct?
might. Yes, yes,
Yeah, it will. Kyuki, the thing is, right now you have a very good reason to keep sleeping
yes,
because you can say that I am working 2 shifts and I'm tired, and anybody would basically leave you alone. Okay, fine, understand.
yes. Hmm.
But the problem is not that you sleep because you are doing 2 shifts. That is one reason. You would sleep anyway.
Yes.
Even if you're not doing any shift, still, I think you would prefer to just sleep,
Yes. That's also
right?
true.
So
Yes.
then problem is going to arise in any relationship
Hmm.
because the core reason for you to choose sleeping is you are avoiding taking responsibility of things that you need to take, and by sleeping you just get to do that. So how
Yeah.
have you learned this? Even if it started very early childhood, somewhere you learned this, that the best way to avoid ownership and responsibility is just go and sleep. So when did
Yes,
you start doing this? In what
maybe in
age?
my third standard.
Okay. And
Yeah.
and and why was that? Because your parents were putting too much pressure of studies on you?
It was not because of my parents putting pressure on me. It was because I basically lost my mom when I was in third standard. And
Okay.
yeah, so from there onwards, I have been like avoiding like stress, tension, or anything arising in my life by just taking a nap and then getting up, waking up refreshed. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
So third standard you lost your mom and you had other siblings also?
Yes, I have one more sibling. She's elder to me.
Younger, elder to you. Okay. And then your dad got remarried or not?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. So then how was your relationship with your stepmother?
Oh, she's very good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when your mother passed away,
Yes.
you chose the response. What made you to choose this response that you just sleep?
Uh, I didn't choose it consciously. So it was
Was it because
subconsciously.
you were missing her or something, or
Yes, yes, yes. I was missing
and
her. Yes.
then other people at home also left you alone, thinking she need time to get over this and all that?
It's not that other people left me intentionally. It was because they were also busy with their lives. Yeah.
Left you in the sense, I mean that if you would oversleep and you would do anything, maybe others were showing understanding that you're going through some kind of grief and missing your
Yeah,
mother
yeah.
and all that,
Yes, yes.
so they would just let you be that way.
Yes, it's true. Yeah.
And then ultimately, by doing that for years, it became your habit.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you done anything to come out of that grief?
Um, Nothing I have done to come out of the grief, but yes, yeah, I just tend to avoid. I just tend to avoid thinking about it.
Huh. And
Hmm.
then you chose the profession of nursing. And does pain over there also kind of brings that out in you?
Earlier in the beginning, it used to I just used to think when I used to see palliative patients, especially people who are struggling with cancer. So I used to think about my mom that on that at that stage, but then
Hmm.
eventually I started to avoid it, and more I started to bring up professional relationship rather than thinking about my past life, like my childhood life. Yeah.
Right, right, right. That, okay. Uh, okay. So that's what you did. But my question is, was it still affecting you? From outside,
Uh,
you did this, but inside,
yes.
was it affecting you?
Um, it was not at the moment. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
And not, it doesn't affect you anymore. It used
No.
to affect you before, but not anymore.
No. No.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right, cool. Okay. So
Yeah.
it to me, it more seems like that there is still a need to close that chapter. You need to grieve the loss of your mother properly.
Okay.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That has been kind of just shunned. It's just kind of swept under the carpet, and it doesn't go away. It doesn't matter how many years it passes by. But it's something you need to deal with. Have
Yes.
you talked about this with your parent, with your like dad, stepmom, or your elder sister? Has this topic ever, do you guys talk about it or nobody talks about this?
No, we never talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, this needs to be dealt with.
Yeah. So for what do you reckon? I should go for meditation retreat?
Uh, no, how is meditation going to help in this? Where is meditation coming here?
Okay.
How are you?
Retreat will help me out. What do you think?
Um,
Rimke, don't include my experiences here. Just ignore. Just talk about things that is related
Oh,
to you.
yeah,
oh,
yeah,
okay. That's
it's.
fine. Yeah, I
Hmm.
know. I'm just asking what is the thing which can help me out. Yeah.
I think let's take this conversation outside of this because this is like on a tangent to what our discussion today is. But at least today, I would say the clarity from my side that I'm giving you is that grief is unresolved,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
right? So
Yeah.
you can set up another call with Anamika and then she can talk about this because this needs more. We need more to talk about on this topic. This
Oh,
is
okay.
right now the conversation topic is different, but at least we have come to a point where, from my side, I feel that you need to address this grief too. So it's not procrastination, it's not sleep. All these things is what you are observing. These are all
Yes.
the behaviors that you are observing, but they are stemming from totally somewhere else,
Yes.
which
Okay.
is your tendency to avoid ownership and responsibility by shunning yourself. And you've shunned yourself for so many years that what you started it with, that doesn't even matter anymore, but your body and mind has got used to that habit.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's become an addiction for you now. Sleeping is an addiction for you now, basically. That's what I can say.
Yes.
Sleep
I
has
also
gone
think.
to a level
Yeah.
of addiction now.
Yeah.
And look, I don't want to jinx it or anything for you this way, but if I use my professional experience in relationships and all that, then I'm saying that right now your partner is showing understanding about this because he knows that you are doing two jobs and you don't have time and bandwidth, but you also know that even if you have one job or no job, you would still prefer to sleep. So then definitely this problem is going to come up in your relationship.
Okay. Yeah.
So it has become an addiction for you.
Yeah.
So we need to address it from that angle that this is an addiction. And that's a different meditation is not a solution for addictions.
Oh, okay.
First of all, you will not be able to sit in meditation. Have you done meditations?
Yes, I do meditation. Means
And
I do
as
meditation in workplace, not at home. If I that is work bound, like if I'm working in disabled center, we do need to make them do meditation. That's guided meditation. Yeah.
right, so you when you are doing it, you are able to do it.
Um, Not really.
Yeah, and hence so that's the thing which I'm saying. So you've already tried meditation. You've already tried and
Yes.
it hasn't
Yes.
worked, and yet you still asking ki, what kind of meditation? It's because meditation is not this medicine for this.
Yes. Yes.
Problem ही अलग है ना. Problem is
हाँ
addiction.
जी.
Huh.
Hmm.
So if somebody is addicted to alcohol or smoking and all that, we won't ask them to go and sit in meditation.
No. No.
So that won't work.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for bringing out my, the problem which I was avoiding, ignoring actually. So yeah, I would have more conversation regarding it with Anamika as well. Yeah,
Yeah,
outside.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. No problems. Thanks.
yeah.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Rimke.
Yeah.
No problems. Yogesh, your hand is up. You want to say something else? You are on mute in case if you're talking. Okay, looks like he's away.
Hello, I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, your
Yeah.
hand was up, so you have something
Yeah.
else to say.
Yes. Just the last thing I wanted to say, since Anamika said that the retreat will be after a few months, so are there some things I can do which will help me to release this blockage that I feel in my heart? It will really help me, like any kind of
Okay.
things.
So as you were talking, I had a few things that I wanted to ask you first.
Mm-hmm.
When you walk, do you still walk mostly with your head down?
With my head down,
Hmm.
I don't understand the question.
When you are walking,
Acha, walking.
generally
Mm-hmm.
walking, you are mostly keeping your head down when you're walking?
I realized that I was a bit like you can call it like a little bit not up straight, but yes, bending forward, like trying to hide, trying to protect something. Now I'm more
So
aware and I'm a little bit more straight.
eyes down on the road. Eyes down on the
Eyes
road
down
means
on the road.
I mean
I have
that
to think
it's not
about it. To think about it, I think it's different. It's different on how I'm feeling. Sometimes I'm going with chest outside and looking up,
mostly,
and other time
most of the
mostly
time.
maybe down. Mostly might be down. Yes. hmm Something is there
That
in my
is
chest. I feel it. So.
so. This is an indication of. So why I asked you this question, because I was kind of picking this up from you that there is still a lot going in your mind that you have kind of um, I'm looking for the right word that doesn't sound very rude, but
hmm
the word that comes to my mind is mask.
Mask. hmm
So it sounds to me that there are a lot of things that still bother you,
Hmm.
and perhaps you have learned to tell yourself differently about them.
Hmm.
Over the years, you have learned to talk differently, like self-talk. I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Although you do a lot of self-talk still,
Mm-hmm.
but that self-talk is different. Maybe you have learned to put more positive spin on things and see things differently. Um, Yet self-talks are there.
Hmm. So what you said,
It's
a
not
lot
going
of things
away.
are bothering me. That's very true. I get like paranoid and worried and afraid. So yes, all this is there. All this is there, which is like I am like, then it's so difficult now. I'm paranoid. I'm worried. I feel like everyone is going to cheat me and everyone going to do conspiracy. It's very hard.
Yeah. And like the best thing for you, although this sounds totally counterintuitive to what you have, but I will tell you, the best thing for you would be to stay at that.
State that.
Stay at that it bothers me. I am paranoid. It bothers me. Just stay at that. Don't
Hmm.
tell anything differently to yourself.
Hmm.
Don't put a positive spin on this thing, because you are just going to go in loop.
Hmm.
You are confusing your mind by doing this.
Hmm. Hmm.
It hasn't worked. It hasn't
Hmm.
worked for a very long time. It will not work. It's
Hmm.
not in your case. It doesn't work in anybody's case. It's not that
Hmm.
you are different or it will not work for you or anything. This method itself doesn't work.
Hmm.
Um, so the best thing would be to stay at that, saying yes, this bothers me. I'm paranoid about this. Acknowledge these problems are still unresolved. Okay, and let it be. It's okay. Nobody is perfect. Everyone has got open wounds and open problems and all that. It doesn't make you anything. It just makes you a human being, right? So just be okay with this fact ki yes, there are problems, there are these things that bother me, and yes, they are still unresolved, and that's the truth of the situation right now. Be fully into that, so you do not mask your pain by something else that kind of reduces the pain. Don't reduce the pain. Feel the pain, because the pain is only going to motivate you to find the cure. होने दो दर्द, जितना हो रहा है उसको होने दो, क्योंकि दर्द जितना ज्यादा होगा उतनी इंटेंसिटी से यू विल लुक फॉर अ सोल्यूशन. उसको ऐसा मास्क करते रहेंगे ना, नहीं नहीं वो नहीं, इतना नहीं है, ऐसा नहीं है, ऐसा नहीं है, तो हम अपने आप को उसकी हम प्रायोरिटी लो कर रहे, उसकी अर्जेंसी को लो कर रहे. उसकी अर्जेंसी को बिल्ड होने दो, उसको जाने दो, ऊपर जितना जाता है उसको फील करो पूरा. जो पेन हो रहा है, जो प्रॉब्लम हो रही है, जिससे जो इशू है, जस्ट लाइक फुल्ली एक्सेप्टेड कि हाँ ये चीजें, ये लोग हैं, इनकी ये सब बातें मुझे दिक्कत करती है, एंड दैट्स इट.
Okay. Yes, so this is very interesting because it had become like my coping mechanism, like to mask this thing and feel good, feel positive, feel like I'm a little bit better. I am a little bit better actually. I'm definitely much better. This is also true. At the same time, there are still, all these things are still there, which now I will look deeper into it.
हाँ, so उसको होने दो, तो उसको एक्नॉलेज करो. हाँ, इट्स गुड टू एक्नॉलेज द प्रोग्रेस. इट्स गुड टू एक्नॉलेज द प्रोग्रेस दैट यू हैव कम दिस फार. पर उस प्रोग्रेस को मास्क मत करो कि हो गया. अगर 10% प्रोग्रेस हुई है तो 10% ही एक्नॉलेज करो. डोंट मेक इट साउंड लाइक 40%, 50%. वो एग्जैजरेट मत करो उसको, क्योंकि वो एग्जैजरेट करने से यू आर रिड्यूसिंग द इंटेंसिटी ऑफ द पेन. और वो सिर्फ क्या होता है, हम अपने आप को ही बेवकूफ बना रहे हैं वो करके, क्योंकि अंदर से तो पेन जितना इंटेंसिटी का उतनी इंटेंसिटी का है. हम ऊपर से ही उसको दबा रहे, नहीं उतना नहीं है, उतनी प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. तो द सेल्फ टॉक इज नेवर गोइंग टू गो अवे, क्योंकि आप अपने माइंड को बेवकूफ इस तरह से तो नहीं बना पाओगे. तो उसको तो जो चीजें, बॉडी को भी, माइंड को भी, सब चीजों को आप वी कैन नॉट डू इट लाइक दैट. हम इंटेलेक्चुअली इस चीज को दबाने की कोशिश करते, क्योंकि समझ आ गया है, बहुत कुछ समझ आ गया है, बहुत कुछ सीख लिया है, बहुत कुछ पढ़ लिया है, बहुत कुछ जान लिया है. तो इंटेलेक्चुअली हम इस चीज को कोप करने की कोशिश करते हैं, बट इंटेलेक्चुअली कुछ नहीं होता है.
करेक्ट.
सो सेल्फ टॉक से अगर बाहर निकलना है और सेल्फ सैबोटाजिंग बिहेवियर से बाहर निकलना है, तो फर्स्ट स्टेप इज जितनी प्रोग्रेस है उतनी ही प्रोग्रेस को एक्नॉलेज करो. उसको बढ़ाओ मत, उसको अपने आप को उसको बढ़ा के मत बोलो कि ये है वो है. इट्स लाइक कि इतना है और अभी ये बचा है, ये चीजें हैं जो अभी भी मुझे ये बॉदर करती हैं. और एक बार अगर अपने आप से एक्नॉलेज करना शुरू करोगे तो यू विल सी कि आपकी सेल्फ टॉक कम हो जाएगी. यू कैन ऑब्जर्व इट योरसेल्फ, यू कैन ट्राई डूइंग दिस. नेक्स्ट टाइम व्हेन दैट थिंग कम्स, यू एक्नॉलेज कि हाँ ये है, अभी भी ये चीज है और ये चीज मेरे को बॉदर करती है, एंड यू विल सी कि सेल्फ टॉक विल स्टार्ट टू रिड्यूस. क्योंकि आप खुद को ही वो वैलिडेशन नहीं दे रहे हो कि ये है, तो वो बार बार वो चीज खड़ी हो जाती है आपके सामने कि है. तो क्या है, अंदर ही ना दो दो योगेश के अंदर एक मतलब वॉर चल रहा है, एक बोल रहा है, एक बोल रहा नहीं है. तो गिव अप दिस बैटल.
Okay.
It's
And
not required.
anything to do to release this blockage, or just be with it now for now?
Um, so you are already doing that. So this energy retreat and all that you're talking about. So yes, we will be doing it. But energy retreat, हम energy retreat में आने के लिए there are 3 more steps that you need to first complete. So उसके बिना energy retreat में तो entry मिलती नहीं है. Right. So we don't invite someone fresh to energy retreat straight. तो अभी भी हमने जो एनर्जी रिट्रीट की थी मसूरी में, अभी लास्ट वीक ही हमने की है. तो ऑल द पीपल हु केम दे ऑलरेडी कंप्लीटेड फर्स्ट 3 लेवल्स बिफोर कमिंग देयर. सो वो तो बिना उसके तो हमारी जो एनर्जी. हाँ बोलो.
I was saying that I have been doing my self-healing work for about 10 years now, so I started the healing journey 10 years ago. So yes, I have done a lot of work also.
Sure. See, वो मैं उसको डिनाई नहीं कर रहा हूँ. मैं उसको डिनाई नहीं कर रहा हूँ कि आपने नहीं किया होगा.
I am able to connect with my mother, which was impossible all my life. So this is something very big. So this is like, yes.
हाँ. So मैं उस चीज को डिनाई नहीं कर रहा हूँ कि आपने 10 years से अपने ऊपर काम नहीं किया होगा. मैं उसको डिनाई नहीं कर रहा हूँ, बिल्कुल डिनाई नहीं कर रहा हूँ. आपने 100% किया होगा, बहुत एफर्ट्स लगाए हैं, बहुत कुछ किया होगा. आई एम नॉट डिनाइंग दैट. पर अगर मैं एक चीज आपको बोलूँ ना, एक तो पहली बात तो मुझे मालूम नहीं है कि आपने क्या किया है. ठीक है, एक तो ये चीज है. आपने किया है वो तो आपको ही मालूम है, और मैं आई एम गोइंग विद यू कि हाँ किया है. ठीक है, लेकिन मुझे उसकी डिटेल्स तो पता नहीं कि क्या किया है. तो इसलिए मेरे को नहीं मालूम है कि उसमें से क्या यूज हो सकता है, क्या यूज नहीं हो सकता. ठीक है, एक तो ये बात हुई. सेकंड, सबसे बड़ी बात, इस काम में 10 साल नहीं लगते.
Okay, so I will tell you why it took 10 years. Yes, somehow the way I knew about everything. So I was doing this self-healing. I didn't have any coach really, and I didn't have any therapist. So that's why it took me so much here. And I didn't know how to find, where to find. I did find one good therapist for shadow work, and working with her helped me a lot. And so it took 10 years to heal my complex trauma, because I didn't know that I had trauma in first place. So it took like 5-6 years to find that I had this complex trauma. Then I started to look for things, and then I found something. So like this, it took 10 years,
हाँ, नहीं बिल्कुल. सी, DIY वर्क में तो 10 years बहुत कम है. DIY वर्क में तो लोग 40-50 साल निकाल देते. DIY वर्क में तो मेरे को बिल्कुल वो है ही नहीं कि उसमें मेरे को आपके ऊपर कोई शक है ही नहीं कि DIY में आपको 10 years
DIY?
Do it yourself.
Do it yourself. Yes, correct.
हाँ, तो उसमें तो बिल्कुल ये बिल्कुल है ही कि पता ही. जब you've done Unstuck through recording. Have you done it yet?
I'm in process.
I have explained this over there. So when you get to that part, I have already explained this over there. कि ये जो आप अभी बता रहे हो, इसका पूरा I have already explained. So let's say, for example, Jinsi is there on the call. So Jinsi attended the energy retreat. Jinsi, when did you do Unstuck? Like how many months it took you from Unstuck to energy healing?
I think it is roughly anywhere between 2 months. I think 2 months में मैं ज़्यादा बता रही हूँ because our scheduling of energy healing was dated accordingly. If it were to be back to back, I think a time estimation shouldn't be more than a month.
चलो 2 months ही मान लेते. 2 months मान लेते कि she done 4 levels in 2 months. That's what she spent. So Jinsi, ये 2 months में, before those 2 months and after those 2 months, what difference did you observe?
A lot. In fact, I'm not the same old self. It's very different, very, very different. My irritability has gone down because one thing I realized was कि वो irritability मेरी कभी थी ही नहीं. मतलब yours, everyone on the call may have different things. For me, it was like a general irritability with anything. बहुत जल्दी मेरे को इक हो जाता था. And as shared earlier in the call just now, it feels like a new skin, मतलब just my skin. It feels as if मैं बहुत सारे layers of कपड़े पहन के मैं weighing scale पे खड़ी हूँ और मैं कह रही हूँ कि मेरा weight इतना ज्यादा क्यों, जबकि वो मेरा weight था ही नहीं. So my original weight is just coming out now.
हाँ. So ये 2 महीने में मिला. अगर मान लो कि ये जर्नी थोड़ी और लाइक वट एवर यू गॉट, इसी को आप प्रैक्टिस करते रहो, तो आपको क्या लगता है 6 महीने में आप कहाँ पहुंचोगे?
I don't think I would have reached जहाँ पे मैं अभी हूँ. नहीं हो पाता because मैं इससे पहले मैंने shadow work किया है, but that was like I touched the tip of the iceberg, मोटा, but इतनी डिटेल नहीं हुआ था.
हाँ, तो मैं योगेश को यही दिखाने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ कि योगेश, आई वाज टेलिंग यू कि 10 साल नहीं लगते. 2 months she is talking about. Most people who have done work with us 6 महीने, 8 महीने, मैक्सिमम 1 साल, 2 महीने, 3 महीने. दिस इज एन एवरेज थिंग दैट पीपल, दिस इज, ये सिर्फ मैं अपनी नहीं, दिस इज नॉट अबाउट मी. आई एम नॉट शेयरिंग दिस जस्ट टू टेल यू कि हम कितने एक्सपर्ट हैं एंड ऑल दैट. वो बात नहीं है. बात यहाँ पे मेरी कहने की है कि गाइडेंस में जब आप काम करते हो तो रिजल्ट्स जल्दी आते हैं.
100%.
तो दैट इज द थिंग. तो DIY में 10 साल अगर लग रहे हैं तो दैट इज थिंग. अब वो 10 साल में क्या क्या ऐसा भी पॉसिबल हो सकता है कि जिनसी को 2 महीने लगे हैं, आपने 10 साल काम किया है, आपको शायद 6 महीने लगे, क्योंकि मुझे आपको बहुत मांझना पड़ेगा. बहुत इकट्ठा कर लिया है 10 साल में आपने, जो मुझे निकालना पड़ेगा पहले. ऐसा भी पॉसिबल हो सकता है, क्योंकि उसने इतना काम पहले नहीं किया. तो जो कोरा कागज आता है वो जल्दी उसके ऊपर काम हो जाता है. जो लोग बहुत ज्यादा करके कुछ आते हैं ना, कई बार हमको बहुत अनलर्निंग, बहुत अनडूइंग करनी पड़ती है और ज्यादा टाइम लग जाता है.
वो असली में वो सब मैंने ऑलरेडी, आप माने या न माने, अभी हुआ क्या कि 5 साल, जो 10 साल मैंने बोले 5 साल, तो आई वॉज ग्रोपिंग इन ब्लाइंडनेस. लाइक आई डोंट इवन नो दैट व्हाट एग्जैक्टली प्रॉब्लम आई हैव. And mostly I was thinking I'm good, I'm doing well and all this thing, and maybe I need to do this and that. And then like 4 years, 6 years it was like this. And then before 4 years I find out that I had trauma, and it was complex trauma. And then I started to look for all kind of things. So I found this EMDR and all this. And then I started to do different things. But my real healing actually happened, you can say, 4 years ago, because I met this therapist from Russia. She's a shadow work, and it's a different kind of shadow work, something really amazing. I had one session with her, and I was seeing the world differently right after one session. So I told her that, okay, I want to go completely with you. I do everything. So I took like 20 sessions. And after that, something that was hiding in my unconscious, that was uncovered. And I had like around 1 year or 1.5 years like hell, because there was so much fear, so much things that I was not seeing, and everything was coming out. So I had a very difficult 1.5 year or something. And then I was settling down, and there was something I found. My trauma was still not healed, because you see, shadow work is not healing trauma. So I had some kind of shamanic medicine that I found out, and I took that medicine, and that medicine resetted the brain, because my brain was completely damaged and no talk therapy was going to help me. So this thing was really reset. And after that, when I went out of my house, the whole world was so beautiful. I was not seeing, because I was in extreme paranoia. I was only looking for danger all my life. And I didn't know that. I thought that's the way everybody lives. And then since then, I'm like, I let go of all the garbage knowledge that I had, and now I'm able to enjoy life and everything. But now I have these flashbacks of this paranoia and something. And this is only happening now when I'm dealing with a big deal. Before, if I go out of my home, I had this paranoia, like I'm in danger and somebody is going to attack me and somebody going to hit me and all these things. But now it's like I'm like living really well and I'm doing this dealing and I'm not running away. Before I would be just, if I find there's a problem, I will just cancel the deal and I will just go somewhere in my safe place, which is Manali, and I will not come for 1 year. And then I will come up with my um, strength and come back again and do the same again. So I was in a serious loop and stuck completely. So this was a miracle of karma, this shamanic whatever. I cannot say this online, all the name, but this was a miracle for me, which no therapy, nothing was helping me and nothing would have helped. I'm telling because nothing could help talk therapy. It's because something was physically damaged in the brain. And that thing was like miraculously reset. And once it reset, I'm like alive again. Really, it was like this.
Nice.
Hmm.
Okay. ठीक है. That happened in Goa?
Yes. That was last year, and I'm like living for one and a half year now, living in joy, first time in my life without fear. I can enjoy the ocean, I can enjoy swimming, I enjoyed mountain. I just enjoyed everything first time. I didn't have fear of like traffic police when I'm riding. I can just enjoy and I can do a little bit risky things also now without fearing. So it's real, like it's not like I'm masking or whatever, because I have been able to really do things that I was avoiding. I mean, it was like serious damage. Complex trauma is a very serious thing. The whole life built around that trauma, and then the whole life is about avoiding anything that can cause me pain and harm. And I didn't even know there were some things were built in my brain. So I was just like hyperactive. There's a video privately I will send you, and in that video, that psychiatrist is really explaining that what exactly happens in a complex trauma and that medicine, how that medicine is changing that. Because I cannot explain this in words, how I was living my life. It was just, oh my God. And how this work that I have been desperately doing for 10 years, but I didn't even know what problem I have. And I didn't know whom to consult, whom to talk. And nobody can understand what happened inside somebody. So I'm so blessed that I found it was complex trauma. And then I found this medicine, which changed everything. And now I'm, working on a little bit tweaking, you can call here and there. But because I know that I'm mostly functioning like okay, but still, I also agree with you that I have to see these things and not mask them, that I'm paranoid and I get like, afraid or whatever, like things like that.
ठीक है. Okay. ठीक है. So एक काम करते हैं ना, to you complete the Unstuck that you have already registered for. एक बार वो कर लो और फिर उसके बाद we can have a talk after that. You can ग्रुप में ही आप मैसेज करना उसको करने के बाद कि where do you see yourself. वहाँ पे जो contemplation questions है उनको ठीक से करना और फिर we will take the next call after that कि इसके बाद क्या next है.
Perfect.
ठीक है.
Thank you so much, Akarma. Thank you so much.
No problems. Thanks, Yogesh. All right. Lata, Tarun, Jinsi, anything you guys want to say or add? Otherwise, we can wrap up the call.
Nothing to add from my end. Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. Thanks, Jinsi. Thanks, Tarun. Lata, anything from your side? Okay. Looks like Lata is not there on the call. ठीक है, तो nothing. Anamika, anything from you? You're done.
Nothing else to add, just a small thing that when we are on this, place where we need to discern, then one thing is something which is of utmost importance. That utmost importance is honesty. So on being honest with ourselves, because the people we fool, we don't fool just other people. It's like we more fool our own selves. So it's important that we be honest, truly be honest, and it requires tons of courage and tons of dropping of the ego to do that, right? To come to a point where we are able to truly accept what is actually happening and see things as they are. So that was one thing that I wanted to add for everyone here. Yeah, cool. Then we will see you guys next week. It was a wonderful conversation. We'll continue this conversation. Thank you so much, everyone. Please be connected on the group. Anything that you want to post, any question, any experience sharing, please do that. Thank you.
Thanks everyone. Okay, good night.
Have a great
Have a
evening.
good week.
Bye-bye.